Jim Sterk is the athletic director at San Diego State, and he joins us on Double X 1090. Hello, Jim, Dave, and Jeff. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Doing great, thanks.
Jim, a lot of confusion, as you can imagine, for Aztec football fans with some teams moving around in the Big East. Let's start right there.
Sure.
What is going on currently with the makeup of Big East as far as football moving forward?
Well, I think it was about a week ago that those divisions were announced, and really very little impact for us as far as those announcements with Rutgers and possibly UConn, because they would be in the Eastern Division, and actually it could give us an opportunity to have more of a Western partner. Temporarily, they put Temple out west, which they're not very west, so I think any additions, I think the commissioner is going to move aggressively. May hear something in the next couple days of some action being taken, but I think the biggest thing is that I want to communicate to people is we're in a good situation. We're moving forward. The commissioner, Mike Oresco, there's no one better to have in the chair than him during this time of complicated musical chairs is what I kind of relate it to. It's but you want to be in a chair, and I think the good thing is the Aztecs are in a chair. We have an opportunity. It's a BCS conference this year and next year. It'll still have that branding carryover, and we're going to compete with the top 5 teams or top 5 conferences in the country. And so there's still, even with that defection this yesterday, there's still 5 schools that have been in the top 10 in the last 6 years. So that's a pretty strong conference, and we're excited to be a part of that.
Jim, when you sit there and you look at the conference, and not just that conference, but, other conferences, Jeff and I were just discussing it before you joined us, that there's so much uncertainty that, you might jump into a conference thinking this is the best thing to ever happen to us. All of a sudden, the big-name schools start taking off. Is that a concern of yours, and how does it work as far as a penalty for those schools that want to leave?
Yeah, there are penalties to leave, and I don't know the exact with Rutgers and UConn if UConn does go, but there are significant penalties. I think it's concerning from the fact of a lot of the changes have occurred, but we already made that big change. We announced that last December. That was the big step for us, and for us, the Boise State, the Houston, Memphis, SMU, those are teams that we planned on playing, and there's going to be some exposure on the East, and the national conference format and design that they unfolded last December is still there, and I think there's a huge appetite for it on the national level, and then also from the standpoint of the exposure for the university and growing as San Diego State continues to grow. This is a place where 70,000 kids tried to get to come here last year, and only 6,000 were able to be admitted. So it's a place of high demand. It's going to continue to be, and we have great leadership under President Hirschman.
Jim Sterk is the athletic director at San Diego State. We're Dave and Jeff. It's Double X 1090. Jim, one of the most appealing things as a fan when this move was announced from the Mountain West to the Big East was the increased revenue expected from the TV deal. With these changes of teams moving out, do you expect those revenues to change?
We never knew what they were to begin with, so it was all speculation. And we had our consultant and to look best and worst case scenarios, and so it's a moving target. There's not a change as far as who's interested. ESPN has the current deal, and they'll have it next year. But the deal beyond that is being negotiated, and ESPN went out of their exclusive negotiating period. There wasn't an agreement made, so Commissioner Oresco is in discussions with Fox, NBC, CBS, those folks, and also possibly doing something with a network, a Big East media network, if you will, kind of like the Pac-12 did. So So there's interest, and that'll continue to build. And I really have a lot of confidence in the commissioner. It's his business. He's the one that negotiated the Mountain West Conference on the other side of the negotiating table. So he did a very good job on that from a CBS standpoint. Now we need him from the conference standpoint to do a good job for us.
Jim, right now your football and basketball programs are doing fantastic. Right now when you guys are talking to recruits about coming to San Diego State and making the athletic department that much stronger, is it a positive for the kids that you're talking to about the Big East?
Oh, yeah. And Rocky had his luncheon with our donors yesterday, a football luncheon, and he talked about, the number of eyeballs. And Coach Fisher, made the comment of being in the witness protection program a little bit. And that we have been there. There's been some great things going on. And that's what I thought when I came here, that San Diego State is a great institution. There's a lot of great things going on, and yeah, in the last couple of years, it's even gotten better, and it's been fun to be a part of that. Now we're going to be on more of a national level and in a national league and conference that'll really. Kids will get to see us across the country, and it's been fun, Sweet 16 in soccer this fall, and there's just continued volleyball's in first place. So a lot of our programs that you don't hear about are doing really, really well as well as football and basketball. So it's a great time. It's not a time to panic. It's not a time to to go backwards. And I think that's what was frustrating yesterday of people reporting that we were going backwards, and that wasn't true at all, and there hasn't been any hesitation with that.
Jim Sterk's the athletic director at San Diego State. We're Dave and Jeff at San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. Jim, you alluded early on that there could be additional teams going to the Big East if Rutgers and UConn do move on. Would you expect those teams to be a little bit more on the West Coast to kind of make it easier for you guys?
Well, that obviously that'd be a preference of ours, and Boise, and but we also have some teams in Texas too, and so we'll whatever Western school is added in the short term, it'll be a lot closer than Temple. I can guarantee that. And then, but beyond that, I think when Navy comes in 15, there's also an opportunity to get a seventh, and that I think gives us opportunity to someone closer out here, and maybe a rival that is a current rival of ours. So we'll see. Jim,
before we let you go, with the change, kind of how the Big East will work with the BCS. And now teams moving and going. Simplest question to end. If you had it all to do it over again, would you do the same thing?
Yeah. I would. And we knew the BCS thing wasn't going to, be go beyond next year. And so we knew that probably would disappear. But this move was about repositioning San Diego State. And the Mountain West people, have, I think, Coach Long said it best yesterday that, boy, it was a great league when TCU, BYU, and Utah, and us, and Boise, and that was a great football league and could rival the Pac-10, in success and all. But that disappeared a couple years ago, and it was important for us to be a part of being moving forward, and our program is having more and more success, and we want the opportunity to really play at the highest level, and we want to continue to do that. So that's why the move was made.
Hey, Jim, thanks as always, especially today on short notice, for coming in and clearing up the confusion. Always good talking to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, guys.